Hello, so today I will be talking about two games that I love which fit into my gamer profile's highest categories. The first game up is Final Fantasy XIV for the category Immersion. Now, as pioneers of JRPGs, Final Fantasy games are known to make you fall in love with their game worlds. But instead of focusing on the whole game, in this video I will be focusing on its latest expansion, Shadowbringers. The reason being that it reached critical acclaim for being one of the best Final Fantasy narratives to date from players worldwide. Now, Shadowbringers came out in mid-2019. Despite being an MMO expansion, it boasted qualities of a full-fledged game, complete with spectacular writing.
Who gave you permission to tend to that criminal's wounds? I told you to paint me a picture!
What you need is a mirror, not a painting. It will capture the horror I see before me far better than I ever could.
Beautiful areas, a unique story, and a diverse music track. To convey how this game immerses its players, I will break it down into four categories. First is the importance of your player character. Unlike most MMOs, your character is a key element in the story. After making your character, you see them grow and react to the storyline. As you progress, you see them in a lot of cutscenes, which gives importance to how you make them look and dress. Your allies are happy when you are victorious, and sad when you go through traumatic experiences. For example, when someone close to you dies, the impact your character feels will be referenced later in the story and even in some side quests. And on that depressing note, we move on to something more lighthearted: music. Music and audio are key components to draw the player in. In Shadowbringers, this is most apparent when you are exploring the new world in the game, called the First. We can categorize the music in three ways: battle music, overworld music, and music used in the dungeons. The overworld music used in each zone reflects how that zone feels to the player, from the desolate sands of Amarang to the deep forests of Raktika. To the lost, melancholic spires of Engelhardt. These tracks reflect the ambiance of each zone, setting the atmosphere and mood for the player. The battle music used in the dungeons and trials are tailored to each specific fight, and you will find yourself humming or singing along to the tunes, which may or may not make the fights even harder. I would touch upon the gameplay and the new mechanics they introduced, but the gameplay encompasses the entire game, so it would take another video to explain the entire job class system. Now let's move on to plot and writing. The impact of this expansion was due to the memorable cast of characters and how it flipped a traditional fantasy story on its head. Alongside the protagonists, the villains were also very unique. It's not like they touched an evil stone and became corrupted or kidnapped a random princess. They had believable motivations. For example, while some wanted to resurrect their people by sacrificing millions of innocents,
I will bring back our brethren, our friends, our loved ones.
some chose the path of a nihilistic mass euthanasia.
Because this hope you cling to is nothing more than a fever dream, an exercise in futility. Even should you slay the Sin Eaters, the world as we know it is beyond salvation.
As for the story, before this expansion, you were a warrior of light, a figure in most Final Fantasies that is a hero and a savior of worlds. But now, the world you are thrust into is consumed by light. Light is usually associated with good, and darkness with evil. But here, it's light that is the evil. So to bring balance, you must drive away the light and bring back the darkness, kind of like the Avatar.
Become the warrior of darkness.
The entire theme makes you question what is evil and what is good. You even fight the original warrior of light. Hold on, did you catch that? It's the same tune. This is called a leitmotif. Self-references like these are used in games to further immerse players in their worlds. Now, on to the next part. Voice acting. The writing in this expansion was amazing and well put together. What really brought it to life was a great cast of voice actors. The voice acting in this expansion was phenomenal. They really made the characters feel unique. Here are some of my favorite picks.
The rains have ceased, and we have been graced with another beautiful day. But you are not here to see it.
Let expanse contract, eon become instant.
And lastly, I'd like to draw your attention to this line uttered by the main villain.
Very well. Let us proceed to your final judgment. The victor shall write the tale, and the vanquished become its villain.
Now this line ties back into what I said earlier about what is good and what is evil. The character makes a bold claim how good guys aren't good because they do good things, but because they are winners of the story. This holds true for most game protagonists. We say they are good guys because we play them and win, forgetting all the creatures and people we kill to attain victory. Going further from the scope of a game, isn't this true for real life as well? We've seen countries who win wars and make themselves look like the good guys all the time by rewriting history and making everyone believe they were the good guys. This by far is the best line I've heard in any game, and it really makes you think about the nature of human morality. This is it for the 14 section. I will now move on to my second game for its action components. The game I chose for its action components is Hades. Hades is a fast-paced roguelite dungeon crawler action game. It's isometric like most Supergiant games, and it's surrounded by beautiful art and music. You play as Zagreus, son of the god of the underworld, otherwise known as Hades. Wanting to escape the land of the dead and find your mother, you set out to battle your way through hordes of monsters to reach the living world above. The action coupled with the destruction you can cause is really satisfying and makes you want to play again and again. Now I'm going to talk about how you can battle your way out and the many different ways you can do it. Boons. During your run you will meet several different gods from Olympus or the underworld who will give you boons to help you on your journey to escape the underworld. You will have several options to choose from, and these will greatly impact how you play your run. Choosing the right boon for your weapon, your run, or your playstyle can greatly impact your chances of winning. The boons are also divided into categories ranging from normal to rare to epic to legendary and to heroic. There are also items in the game that raise your chances to attain more powerful and rare boons. And this adds another layer of strategic decision making into the game. Weapons. In Hades, you can choose from a couple of weapons to start your run with. Each of these weapons are unique and heavily change your playstyle. The weapons even have different forms. This allows you to experiment with a lot of different ways of combat. For example, we can divide the weapons into long-range types and close-range types, and a mix of those too. The long-range ones would be the bow and gun,
Not yet.
Sweet release.
the close-ranged ones would be the sword and
My blade.
fists,
Hey, that looks pretty mean. The pain is indescribable. Felt nothing there, sorry. Yeah. Anyways, weak.
while the spear and shield are a mix of both.
No, keep hitting me. Farewell.
With these choices, each of your runs will be heavily impacted by what category your weapon is suited for. Environment. The environment is mostly destructible and you can use it to your advantage, like slamming enemies against the walls or causing rubble to hurt them. Be careful though, there are many traps that can also hurt you. Darkness. On top of boons, weapon upgrades, and keepsakes, you can also further strategize and experiment with your gameplay by unlocking stat boosts. These are unlocked by collecting darkness in each of your runs. So unlike other rogue games, you will feel progression each time you die instead of starting from scratch. Lastly, and although it is not tied to the action aspect, a fun little trivia about the court musician in Hades' house, Orpheus, plays the Turkish musical instrument, the bağlama.
Hello, my name is Darren Korb, and I'm the composer for Hades. I'm the audio director for Supergiant Games, and I'm going to be teaching you how to play Good Riddance from Hades. Normally I play this song on a bağlama. It's what it's written on and what I played on the soundtrack. It's a sort of long-necked Turkish instrument.
And sometimes you can hear him play songs with it in the house when you return from your runs. That's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. Sorry it's a bit too long, but I love these games. If you played Hades and liked it, go follow Supergiant. They are lovely and caring developers and deserve all the support they can get. That's it. See you.